The Elders' April transmission. The Atlantean Pyramid creates the illusion of realities in time on the earth plane. The soul who oversees this pyramid goes by the frequency Arlis-Cochizel. In the temple of the crystal, the goddess sits, she whose consciousness creates all and everything from within. Through this crystal matrix, a race of evolved humans was born. And when it was time for those souls to once again submerge in the sea of creation, to evolve into a new experience, the crystals would echo the harmonics, and the souls would remember and align for transition. The Atlantean Pyramid had great mythology about an ancient time when man used his gift of intuition and worked with spirit. It tells of priests and priestesses who used massive crystals and walked with giants and strange creatures on the surface of the planet. This pyramid tells of Thoth, known as Thoth the Atlantean, or Tahitu, who ruled the land of Atlantis for thousands of years, known there by many names and descriptions. It is written that before the great civilization of Atlantis fell, I went with my consort and our high priests and priestesses in great spaceships to create a new home and a new civilization. That this place would be the land of Chem, known to you as Egypt. That I and others from Atlantis would record and store information in great libraries, in a place to be known as the Halls of Amenti, Amenti meaning mankind. Listen now for the echoes of their tones within your mind. And many would search for these records in their quest to remember why they had come here and who they are. And they would feel that they have greater purpose in this timeline and seek to find out what that purpose might be. The Atlantean Pyramid would create tales of the fall of this great civilization as warning to those who would walk the earth at the time of this reading. And humanity would worry about the destruction of its earth home. Fear not, as the souls need only remember their way home into the light. For there is no beginning, nor is there an end. And I, Thoth Atlantean, shall now take you to the Pyramid of Atlantis, so you may experience all that you are, and you will understand what happened in the game of light versus dark, and you will remember what you must do. Inkomoshina kisana kiyokoania, inomosia kiakoa, inkasino kokia nasia, inomosina, ikasina koaika. Welcome, sweet ones. It gives us great pleasure to be with you in this now, in this magical month of April, as you move deeper into the knowing of yourselves as Melchizedek ambassadors of light and sacred transfiguring flames of divine love in service to Mother Earth and all her life. Sweet ones, in this sacred year of 2015, overlighted by the Syrian Archangelic League of the Light, and with Thoth as your master guide, we have been taking you into a deeper level of remembrance of many of the Atlantean and ancient Egyptian mystery school teachings. In fact, the golden age of Atlantis was one of the highest levels of cosmic Christ consciousness achieved on the sacred earth. And in that now, sweet ones, you experience lifetimes of self-enlightenment. the activating and actualizing of the full physical etheric 12-strand DNA. Many of your extrasensory perception gifts, and traveling too in your activated Merkaba's light bodies. You lived your lives in love and joy, walking the pathways of divine love, connecting with your star brothers and sisters and the giant races, and later choosing to downstep your vibration and assist the earth and all her life in this sacred school of learning. Many of you hold too within your memory banks not only the golden ages of Atlantis, experienced primarily between 40,000 BC to 18,000 BC, but also the demise of Atlantis through the sons of Belial and the Martians. And this fear, sweet ones, repeats itself in the illusions of realities in time on this sacred earth and this plane of polarity. Between approximately 17,500 BC and 15,000 BC, Atlantis split into 5 islands through the abuse of the Great Crystal. The 3 primary islands were Persida, Aran and Og, and 2 smaller islands under the rule of the Aryan race, known as Attila and Ire. With this came the evolution of 2 primary groups of differing beliefs. The Atla-Ra scientist priesthood of the Law of One, based predominantly on the Isle of Persida, and the Aryan race, the sons of Belial, based on the Isle of Aryan. Those known as the giant race of Atlantis, primarily of Pleiadian descent and around 10 to 12 feet tall, were also located in Persida. Persida was the headquarters and nucleus of the crystalline power grid. The most advanced and beautiful crystals were grown here, housed in wonderful crystal temples and underground crystal beds. Unfortunately, over time, great rifts occurred between the Alta-Ra priesthood and the sons of Belial, not least due to the use of genetically engineered hybrid slaves, half man, half beast, and the material power and control issues of the sons of Belial. Additionally, a small group of Martians, 1 million years ago in their time, entered a portal of light in Atlantis in approximately 65,000 BC, leaving behind their world, which had been atmospherically destroyed. They were able to time travel into the future through the creation of a synthetic Merkaba. As the Martians had created a reality based on separation from Mother Father God, they attempted to control and dominate the Atlanteans upon their arrival. After several unsuccessful attempts, mostly due to their small numbers, the Martians reached a point of mutual cooperation with the Atlanteans, with the Martians experiencing aspects of love and the Atlanteans learning the left brain technologies of the Martians. This focus on peace, cooperation and harmony came about in approximately 50,000 BC, when Mother Father God expanded in a cosmic in-breath of forgiveness and love. At that now moment, each atom and molecule through all dimensions was bathed in the divine unfolding light of Mother Father God, and this solar system, like all dimensions, star systems and galaxies in your multi-universe, was embraced in the amplified frequency of the diamond, golden and white light emanating from the rays of one unity consciousness. During this era of peaceful co-creation, the Martians assisted the Atlanteans in creating the Great Crystal, a huge electromagnetic laser structure used to harness the sun's energy. This was an enormous project using specific mathematical proportions and assisted by nature intelligence, the crystal kingdoms, and many of you, sweet ones. This great crystal created a series of fire crystals erected in sets of 3, each 20 foot high and 8 foot wide. These fire crystals created a solar source of energy by reflecting the sun to a greater or lesser degree, depending on the tuning. It further allowed for the healing of your planet and individuals through energy rays of light. During the golden age of Atlantis, using this great crystal was most incredible, as you had the ability to heal any frequency in the body. Furthermore, as we mentioned, many of you were able to travel interdimensionally in your own activated Merkabah's light bodies within this quadrant of the galaxy. In fact, a period of longevity ensued, and you were the most incredible magical master beings of love, with a full physical etheric 12-strand DNA and the ability to undergo your cosmic initiations into the cosmic heart of Mother Father God whilst in physical embodiment. This era of peace ensued for 26,000 years, until 24,000 BC, when you were again to enter the photon band for 2,000 years, and just prior to this, experience a pole shift through the null zone. At that time, a small piece of Atlantis sunk, and for the first time in thousands of years, a feeling of fear came upon the Atlanteans. Furthermore, through the subconscious negative energy of the Martians, who had never really felt at home amongst the Atlanteans, influences of cosmic evil were again to affect the etheric planes and create further disharmonic levels of consciousness. In addition, the great crystal could be tuned to a frequency that would cause death and destruction, and through the fear consciousness created by this pole shift, abuse of the great crystal was to come about through the sons of Belial. The sons of Belial, under the influence of cosmic evil in the form of the Martians and the Anunnaki, followed their own selfish desire for power through materialism and negative ego allurements. They created distortions in your energy fields and that of Mother Earth by abusing the great crystal, and in approximately 17,500 BC to 15,000 BC, nearly destroyed the Earth's atmosphere by accidentally tuning the great crystal to such a degree that it created huge volcanic activity within the core center of your Earth. Shortly after this volcanic activity, which weakened the electromagnetic and geomagnetic structure of your Earth plane, a comet approached Earth, destroying the great crystal and with it pieces of the continent of Atlantis. This comet soared into the western shores of Atlantis, close to where Charleston, South Carolina is today. In the southwestern region, one of the two largest pieces struck the main body of Atlantis. Portions of Atlantis sunk as it broke into several islands, leaving the three main islands, Pisidia, Aran, and Og. Over time, through the continued abuse of the great crystal, you shifted to the lower octaves of fourth dimensional consciousness, and later, following the Martian experiment, you would shift from a fourth dimensional consciousness to a third dimensional consciousness, with many of you beginning to doubt your infinite eternal connection to Mother Father God. As the comet was approaching Earth, you were able to see it in space. The Martians wanted to use the great crystal to destroy the comet in space, but most of the Atlanteans wanted to allow the comet to approach the Earth, thinking that it would land in your ocean without causing too much destruction. As it happened, sweet ones, the comet did not land in the ocean. It hit Atlantis. In fact, as it hit Atlantis, due to the weakened electromagnetic and geomagnetic grids created through the abuse of the great crystal, it greatly destroyed your Earth plane. And when pieces of the comet landed in the southwestern region, it landed where most of the Martians were living, killing many of them. This caused an even bigger rift between the Martians and Atlanteans, who were now determined to take control. Over time, the Martians plotted and schemed, and fueled by anger, decided that they would create a synthetic Merkaba, like they had done nearly 1 million years ago on their own planet. At this stage, you were still mostly at a 4th dimensional level of consciousness, and the Martians wanted to create a frenzy of lower dimensional activity. The idea was to activate the synthetic Merkaba and dimensionally shift your Earth plane to a 3-dimensional frequency of amplified human miscreations, which would allow the Martians control through external power and domination. They also understood the sacred geometries of the Christ consciousness grid around this Earth plane and within the solar system. They knew that by creating the synthetic Merkaba, and specifically using the shape of the star tetrahedron, they would interfere with the connection of all life to the Christ consciousness grid and your original divine 8-cell blueprint. However, they were unable to remember the technology, and this experiment, which took place in approximately 11,000 BC, was considered a failure, although in many ways it achieved its purpose through the near destruction of you and your planet. The synthetic Merkaba spiraled completely out of control, ripping open the lower dimensions on the Earth plane and completely destroying the Christ consciousness grid around the Earth plane, as well as your original divine encodings through your 8-cell blueprint and the star of Melchizedek. Furthermore, millions of laggard souls who were waiting to incarnate onto this Earth plane through the lower dimensions entered into the bodies of humanity, and you, sweet ones, and almost every sentient being on this planet entered into an era of darkness. In addition, the synthetic Merkaba, which is now at the bottom of the ocean bed, beneath what you call the Bermuda Triangle, distorted the patterns of perfection through many dimensions and planes of existence. At this point, sweet ambassadors, we'd like to digress slightly to explain how this action affected Atlantis and the Halls of Amenti. Atlantis was overseen by a physically manifest cosmic being who was known as the Dweller on Unal, or Master Harlot. At this time, Master Harlot resided in a gateway or dwelling known as Temple Unal, a square temple 3 miles wide and 1 mile high, which existed 9th dimensionally within the ethers of your Earth plane. And within Unal there existed a gateway to Amenti, where the cold flower of life exists eternally. Now directly opposite this temple, Master Harlot constructed the temple Andal, divided it into 2 sections. The training of the priesthood took place on the one side over a period of 15 years, and on the other side of the temple Andal, training of the scientists and philosophers occurred. Master Harlot was the cosmic being who instructed Thoth as a master of wisdom to take the Atlantean records of your highest potential, as well as 9 master crystals, and go to the land of Chem, which was later to be known as Egypt. Due to the Martian experiment, Master Horlet assisted the cosmic lords of Amenti, Sanat Kamara and Nature Intelligence, in the sinking of Atlantis, and further, the Temple Unal and the Temple Andal were also sunk just after the fall of Atlantis. This natural tragedy prevented the many wonderful teachings through the Halls of Amenti to be available to humanity, and in ancient Egypt, these teachings were only available to advanced initiates, until you were able to work with the Bermuda Triangle to correct the artificial space-time warp created through the Martian experiment, and further unveil the etheric records of Atlantis, which occurred, sweet ones, by the grace of God in 2001. Etherically, Temple Unal and the Temple of Andal have arisen, and the gateway to Amenti has reopened. So we can again bring to you many of these ancient teachings from the Halls of Amenti and Atlantis, and make these teachings available to all seekers of the light. Additionally, sweet ones, you are now able to experience the energy emanating from the 12 pyramids of light around the unity grid of divine love. And in this transmission, we take you into the etheric Pyramid of Atlantis, overlighted by the Syrian Archangelic League of the Light, with Thoth as your master guide, so you may experience all that you are as these sacred transfiguring flames of divine love and master beings of light. And you will understand what happened in the game of light versus dark, and you will remember what you must do. For all is one, sweet ones, and all is love. The Pyramid of Atlantis etherically houses the 12 master crystals from Atlantis, which opens the dimensional portals to all dimensions of light, to all golden ages of light, and with this allows the crystalline consciousness emanating from these master crystals to activate at a cellular level and through the chakras, taking you beyond the illusion of realities in time on this earth plane, to the knowing, sweet ones, that you are supreme creating form within the quantum crystalline field of one unity consciousness, to heal what needs to be healed, and to truly experience and know yourselves in your full magnificence and light, through the celebration of the divinity of every thought, feeling, and action. So let us now set our sacred space as we guide you in this transmission of divine love. Overlighted by Mother, Father, God, you call in the Pleiadians, the Syrians, the Andromedans, and Nocturians, all of the light. The Syrian Archangelic League of the Light further come forward now to wrap you in their beautiful silver gold flame of galactic Christ consciousness, taking you deep into the healing of the wounds of your relationships, into the rebalancing of the divine masculine and feminine energies, into a recalibration and experience of Tantra, union with the divine. And now you call upon the order of Melchizedek and Lord Melchizedek. You call in the Ascended Masters. You call in the Archangels and their divine feminine counterparts. You call in the mighty Elohim. You call in Lord Melchior, the galactic Logos, Helios and Vesta, the solar Logi, Sanat Kamara, the bridge to solar Christ consciousness, and Lord Buddha, the planetary Logos. And now you call in your master guide, guardian angel, and all other beings of light you personally acknowledge. As you merge now with your beloved I Am Presence, the highest light that you are within the cosmic heart of Mother, Father, God. Now, sweet ones, ground into the crystal heart of Mother Earth, into her crystal core of divine love, breathing deep into the body, expanding the lower abdomen as you breathe in, contracting the lower abdomen as you breathe out, and feeling your connection through the unity grid of divine love to all the light workers and star-seated ones, and to all the illumined beings of light from on high, assisting you in this ascension journey of light. And now, sweet ones, you find yourselves being placed in an external Merkaba vehicle of light by the Syrian Archangelic League of the Light. And with Thoth by your side, you now travel through the grids of divine love, entering now into the Pyramid of Atlantis. You are welcomed and greeted by Arlis-Cochizel, who leads you into a temple of crystals. And as you start to experience these crystalline frequencies, sweet ones, the subatomic particles within your body now spin and increase light frequencies. All around you, you see the most beautiful crystals, some immensely large, shimmering and radiant in the light of creation. Arlis-Cochizel invites you to now experience the energy of the 12 master crystals of Atlantis. You are delighted to accept and now find yourselves within the central Atlantean crystal temple of God's infinite creation, overlighted by the Syrian Archangelic League of the Light, the Atla-Ra scientist priesthood, Arlis-Cochizel, Thoth, your master guides, and your beloved I Am Presence. Sweet ones, these 12 master crystals will be anchored through the 12 primary chakras within your bodies, and with this will take you into the knowing of yourselves in your full magnificence and light, as these sacred transfiguring flames of divine love, and into the golden age of Atlantis, activating all the gifts and healing energies that you may need in this now. We will not be going into much detail of the Atlantean crystals at this time, so simply tune in and receive what you need to from each crystal in this now, sweet ones. As you bring your focus to the Earth Star Chakra, found approximately 30 centimeters below your feet, the diamond crystal of multi-dimensional interface connects now, activating within the Earth Star Chakra and bringing with it a deeper knowing and connection to your multi-dimensional self and all golden ages of light. And now, sweet ones, you activate the first of the 12 golden solar sun discs within the Earth Star Chakra, linking you into the 144 unity grid of divine love. Imrosomaki kanayaya, inkakinoa imosinakia, inkasinokoia simokoatia, inkakinomo sinakoaia, inkakoaiana imosia, inkasinokoika imosinakia Isatia. Wonderful, sweet ones. And now the ruby fire crystal of energy activates within the base chakra, bringing with it a deeper sense of vitality, passion, rootedness and centeredness. And now, sweet ones, you activate the second golden solar sun disc within the base chakra. In kokino mo sinaki kasia, in kayino mo sinakia, in kakino mo sinakia sia, in kasino koayana, imo sinaka isayakia. And now, sweet ones, the rose crystal of creative energy activates within the sacral chakra, taking you deep into your creative sexual energy. As the third golden solar sun disc now activates within the sacral chakra. In kosino koimo sinakia, in kakoino mosinaki kasia, imo sina koaia, in kakino mosina kia kasia, in koino mosina siaka. Good. And now within the solar plexus chakra, activates the sacred crystal of Thoth. Through the seat of the soul, you are taken into the teachings of light, of the golden ages of light, and the knowing of the dimensions upon dimensions. Within the sun, the central sun, the great central sun, the great central sun, and through all dimensions of light. And now, sweet ones, you activate the fourth golden solar sun disc within the solar plexus chakra. In koino mosina kikania, I mosina koaino mosia, in kaikoino I mosia, in karsino koakia. Wonderful. The emerald crystal of healing now activates within the heart chakra, taking you deep into the healing, sweet ones, on any level of the healing of the wounds of your relationship, healing on any level that needs to occur for you, the activation of your healing abilities and gifts. As you further activate the fifth golden solar sun disc within the heart chakra, taking you deep into the soul matrix, to the energy of the love of yourself and the love of all creation. In korsino mokina koaina, imosia koaikoa, in kokoino mosina kaia, ino somoaia, in kasino koka, imosina kaia sa. And now the gold crystal of healing regeneration activates through the thymus chakra, taking you deep into any regeneration, rejuvenation, and youthing of the physical and energy body, sweet ones. As you now activate the sixth golden solar sun disc within the thymus chakra, in kosino koino mosia, in kakiono mosia, in kasina kakia, imosina ikosina kia, imosino koaina, imosiaka ikasinaka. Good, sweet ones. And now, the violet crystal of sound activates within the throat chakra, taking you deep into your own soul vibration, into your heart, connecting the heart and the throat and your soul note. As you further activate the 7th golden solar sun disc within the throat chakra. In Kosino Komiyasina, in Kasino Kokiana, Imosia Koaina, in Kakiono Musina Kayeka, in Kasino Kokoaina, Imosia Koa. And now the blue crystal of knowledge activates within the third eye, bringing a greater level of wisdom, insight, and illumination for golden ages of light of the Christed timelines. As you now activate the 8th golden solar sun disc within the third eye. In Kosino Koimo, Ina Kakoino Mosina, in Kakiana Masina, Imo Sowaikia, in Kakino Mosina Kayeka, in Kasino Koino Mosia, in Kasina Kakio no Imosiaka. Wonderful, sweet ones. And now the platinum crystal of communication activates through the crown chakra as the recalibration further takes place between the pituitary, the pineal, the hypothalamus and thalamus glands. As you activate now the 9th golden solar sun disc within the crown chakra. In Kosiko ino mosina kia, ino somo koika, in Kakino mosina kia, ino soa imosona kia. Wonderful, sweet ones. And now the silver crystal of divine love activates within the divine feminine chakra, found next to the top of the head, on the left side of the body. As you further activate the 10th golden solar sun disc within the divine feminine chakra. In Kosino Kokimo Sinakia, Imo Sino Koaina, in Kosokoino Mosina Kaia, in Kasino Kokoino Mosina Kiasia, in Kasino Koino Mosina, Imo Soakia, in Kasino Koa. Wonderful, sweet ones. Now the golden white crystal of unity consciousness activates within the divine masculine chakra, found to the side of the head, on the right side of the body. As you further activate the 11th golden solar sun disc within the divine masculine chakra. In Kosino Koino Mosina, in Kasino Kokiana, Imo Soaia, in Kasino Kokia, Imo Soa, Ikasina, Ikosukuika, in Kayino Mosia. And now, sweet ones, the sun moon crystal of light activates within the sun star chakra, bringing about a balancing and rebalancing of the divine masculine and feminine energies and your connection to God. As you now activate the 12th golden solar sun disc within the sun star chakra. In corsino coimo sinakia, imo sino coino, imo sukoi kasina, imo sino koaina, imo soakiana, ikosia kawaya. Good, sweet ones. You now link into the sun, the central sun, the galactic center, another great central sun. As you are wrapped once more in this beautiful silver gold flame of galactic Christ consciousness, have a sense of these Christed timelines that activate for you, taking you into this golden age of Atlantis and bringing back these teachings of light and the law of one into this now. As you connect now into the 144 satellites within and around the unity grid, through the golden pseudo-sun discs and these etheric crystals of Atlantis, as well as the physical Atlantean crystals that are within the sacred earth, sweet ones. Anchoring and activating now the new golden age key codes of unity consciousness for all humanity and all life on the sacred earth. In corsino kuimo sina kiaka, ino morsina kikakino mo imosia. In casino kuimo sina kia, ino morsina kio, imorsino koakina, ina sia kakia, imorsono kuika, in casino imorsiaka. Good, sweet ones. These memories will activate for each one of you at a deeper level. And in our monthly tele-webinar transmission, we will give you more details about these beautiful master crystals, as well as take you in soul consciousness into the halls of Amenti. The crystalline matrix activates deep at a cellular level within the body as the carbon-based cells experience the illumination of God's infinite creation and divine love and unity consciousness. You now find yourselves traveling back into your sacred space in your external Merkaba vehicles of light, coming fully back into your body, into your sacred space. You thank all these illumined beings of light from on high, grounding once more now into the crystal heart of Mother Earth, centered and aligned to the divine, merging once more with your beloved I Am Presence, in the knowing, sweet ones, of yourselves as the priests and priestesses and initiates of light. In your own time, you open your eyes, being fully present, looking through your master eyes at all of life around you, in the knowing of your ability to move beyond the veils of illusion and experience all multidimensional realities and embrace the divinity within all of God's creation. And we thank you for your service work, sweet ones, and we bless you, and with this we bid you a most magical day.